on guys, welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now,
Jimothy.
so we are back with this beautiful Jinzo mat, ladies and gents, and Christmas is upon us. So I thought I'd bring you a little bit more of a fun rogue casual style deck. However, it is pretty powerful and it can pump out some crazy boards as well as hand loop you for like 4 cards. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the profile. Now I have been messing around with a lot of decks recently, and I think that's part of my problem when it comes to playing like a competitive deck. I just like there's so much variance in this game, and I just get attracted towards just like a unique play style, and this deck definitely represents that. So the deck in question is Darkworld, ladies and gents. Now believe it or not, this deck can be very powerful going first, hand looping you for 4 and setting up potentially like 3 or 4 interruptions in the form of like just straight up negations is just terrible for your opponent. So yeah, it's something that I was kind of drawn to just because the hands are non-linear and you kind of need to just think about where you're going with the deck and how to facilitate the best route to building a board. But starting us off, we have Genta, the Gateman of the Darkworld. This is some of the newer support from the structure deck, and this card's crazy. So it gives you a +1 in the terms of it searches the field spell. This field spell will banish this card for cost as well as discard another fiend monster, and then once per turn when this card is banished, it special summons itself. Now it doesn't, the special summon is once per turn, however the search is not once per turn, so you can discard this as much as you like to be able to search yourself out another field spell, which initially will then give you another draw as well as a discard. So definitely a very powerful card, a bit insane to be honest, and it does open up some rank 4 plays because believe it or not, ladies and gents, none of the effects of the Darkworld cards kind of lock you into anything, and they're all for the majority not a once per turn effect, which I find is crazy. Again, for the newer support in the form of the next monster, we've got Rainbow, Overking of the Darkworld. Again, another fantastic support. This is very much like Grapha, has a graveyard effect like Grapha, where it can bounce a level 7 or lower Darkworld monster back to your hand to special summon itself from the graveyard. And when it's discarded, you can special summon a you can search for a level 7 or lower Darkworld monster, which is level 5 or higher Darkworld monster, which is crazy. So you can search Grapha, you can also search your silver as well. So definitely a very strong card, ladies and gents, hence why I've maxed out on it. For some of the older support, I've gone with triple Grapha. Again, this just helps to break boards, ladies and gents. Say No More revives itself in the graveyard. Big beat stick, especially with the field spell on the field. You can actually get this up to 3k, and it's just a bit of a problem. If you want to play Skill Drain, which did come in the structure deck, you can actually do that, because a lot of their effects resolve in grave. So definitely an option for you guys. But yeah, Grapha is just no nonsense. The reason why I play 3 is because of the fusion spell. Depending on how you've got it set up, you can eventually end up banishing Grapha from your graveyard. So definitely a nice little idea to run the 3. Then we're playing triple Snow. This goes without saying, searches any card in the archetype that says Darkworld. So definitely maxing out on Snow as well as maxing out on Brow. He just gives you a draw when he's discarded by a card effect. Again, what can I say? Draw cards is always a good thing, especially in this deck. Next, just for the remainder of the Darkworld cards, we've got double silver, excuse the mixed rarities, I've only got the one the only one secret, as well as 1 Pearl. I think this is one of the newer supports. This allows you for a little bit of recursion, hence why I've decided to play it at 1. I'm still testing out the deck, so I'm not too sure on it. I did take this to locals. I turned up at locals and I seen who was there, and locals looked like a meta sweatfest. So I was like, you know what, I'm putting this deck back in the bag and I'll play it again at a different time, potentially even later on this week. So keep an eye on the channel for any kind of locals vlog, ladies and gents. But yeah, so double silver, 1 Pearl, as well as the 1 Cerulli. Now you can actually go quite easily to Cerulli and probably take out the Pearl and just go for the full-on hand loop. I've decided not to do that just because I wanted to test the deck first. Once I've kind of got an idea of which is the most optimal way to play, I'll definitely mess about with these ratios. But for now, I'm going with the 1 Cerulli and the 2 silver, just because of the new fusion monster. I've also gone with double Salamander Catalyzer. I don't want to max out on 3 because I kind of don't want to see too many in my hand, but 2 seems to be the right number. It basically allows you to discard for effect to special summon a fiend monster from your hand, from 2 that you reveal in your hand, and discard the other one. So it kind of just facilitates your plays, as well as putting a body on board, and it is a level 4, ladies and gents, as well as a fiend monster. So there's a lot of synergy with the deck, especially with the field spell as well. So yeah. Next, onto the danger package, ladies and gents. Now this is probably what keeps your deck going, especially through interruption. So triple danger Bigfoot. Again, the reason why I went out on the triple danger Bigfoot is a big body and it can pop a face up card. I feel like I need to mess about with the rank 8 package, but I'll get to that when I speak about when I get into the extra deck. But triple Bigfoot, as well as the 1 Thunderbird and the 1 Danger Ogre Pogo. Now I do have the other Thunderbirds in the side deck just because it's a big body basically, and if I do mess about with the rank 8 package, I can definitely look to just increase the number of Danger Thunderbirds, as well as potentially putting another Ogre Pogo in, but they're literally there just for the 8s, and I only run 1 8 in the extra deck at the moment, but that will change, ladies and gents, depending on how testing goes. Also got double Danger Nessie. I should have the 3rd somewhere, I don't know where it is. Yes, I've got a gold one, it is what it is. I'm also running double Danger Chupacabra. I'm potentially thinking about bumping this up to 3. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, because you can resolve it so many times in a turn. You can kind of just wait until you've got a danger in the grave, and if you do hit this off your off its own effect, then you can just bring back like a Bigfoot or something like that. So definitely something worth thinking about, as well as the 1 Danger Tsukinoko and the 1 Danger Jackalope. Not much needs to be said about the dangers, ladies and gents. Seeing a hand with at least 2 Darkworld monsters and a couple of dangers is always a nice feeling, because you're definitely going to be able to just accelerate through some plays. Next, onto the spells, we're playing double Darkworld Accession. This is the new fusion card. This card's nice. Quick play fusion spell gets you into the Grapha fusion, as well as being able to discard as part of its effective fusion summon, and you can also bounce this card back to your hand by discarding a Darkworld monster, which again just triggers all of their effects. So this card is very, very nice indeed. Yeah, I probably would only ever play 2. I do play 2 of the fusion monster, but I feel like 2 is just the right amount. Also, we are playing 1 Darkworld Archives. This card just says draw cards, make your monsters big. That's basically what it says. So anytime you discard a Darkworld card for its effect, you can discard another card and then draw 2, which is crazy. And it can also buff your monsters on field by discarding a Darkworld card. So definitely nice one-of, ladies and gents. And it's pretty easy to see or even just search out, because you draw so much free deck. Seeing these one-offs, ladies and gents, is not a problem, especially in combination with Snow, being able to search out whatever missing piece that you need. So 1 Darkworld Archives. I've also got for the 1 Darkworld Puppetry. This is just a triple DD Crow with a discard attached. Again, Tears is in a format, so again, nice little card right there, ladies and gents. Also running the triple Gates of the Darkworld. Nothing more needs to be said about that. It's not a once per turn, well, a soft once per turn, ladies and gents, and it buffs all your monsters. So yeah, you kind of need to see. Also, for some powerful one-offs, I've gone with 1 Core Body Grave, 1 Pot of Avarice, as well as 1 Contentious Card of Destruction. Now, obviously, with tier in the format, you probably want to be very, very careful playing this, but sometimes you get some really weird janky hands where you just can't play, so you kind of need a discard outlet, and this just literally fulfills all of those criteria. But like I said, if you are playing tiers, you need to think carefully about whether you're going to use it, and it's potentially easy to side out. So yeah. Next, we are onto the extra deck, and with some of the newer support once again. Grapha Dragon Overlord of the Darkworld. It's crazy. This card, it turns any effect that your opponent activates into your opponent discards 1 card. So your Ceruli, your Silver, just your Grapha, for example, you can literally just trigger all your Darkworld effects, and it does float back into Grapha if it's destroyed. So a very, very nice card indeed, ladies and gents. I do play a small Exceed package. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm kind of torn on about how far I should go with the Xyz. Potentially I might even put another rank 8 in, but this seems to be working fine at the moment. Obviously Abyss Dwellers and Metal Call, this could be changed out if the meta changes for whatever reason. Hope Harbinger is just a nice little negate, and Dugaris is probably a must-have, especially in this deck, because it draws 2 and discards 1 for cost, for effect, which is just absolutely crazy. So definitely a very, very strong card. Next, onto some of the links. We've got 1 Security Dragon. I am missing the Akashic Magician. I'm just waiting on it in the post, so that is definitely something will be included. 1 Cross Sheep. I'm not too sure about this card. It does net you some advantage, it can do some plays, but it's very niche, so I'm not too sure about Cross Sheep. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, as well as 1 Nightmare Cerberus, which just literally goes without saying. 1 the Dark Charmer, as well as 1 Nightmare Unicorn. I was actually thinking about putting in Griffin, because you can actually lock your opponents out of special summon monsters effects. So I might take the Cross Sheep out and put the Griffin in and just run the full Nightmare package. So it does benefit from the field spell as well, because they're all fiends as well. So it's a nice little tech right there. As well as the 1 Muckraker of the Underworld. This card's nice, very, very nice indeed. Just literally, it feels like it was made for this deck, the way that it operates. You discard, you special summon 1 back from the graveyard, so you can actually even bring back your Grapha Fusion by discarding like a Grapha or something like that. So very, very strong card, ladies and gents. Very, very nice. And then for the 4s, I've gone with 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, 1 Saryuja Skuldred, as well as 1 Appaloosa Bolt of the Goddess. Now, this deck spits out monsters like it's going out of fashion. You can have a full field, you can link into one of these monsters, and you could potentially build up a full field again, just depending on how many dangers you've got in hand and how many discard outlets you've got. So it's quite easy to go into a 4 or 5, sorry. So definitely something to consider. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World is just to kind of like remove some monsters that can't be targeted. For example, I don't know, Midnight Crusader, Avramax, something like that. So definitely something to keep in mind, ladies and gents. But all in all, that is it. Like I said, this deck just, it does so much, but it's very, very hand dependent. And I will do a board breakers episode on this deck, and you can just see some of the lines of play that this deck potentially could have, but you will also see how non-linear the deck is. So yeah, keep an eye on the channel for that. But we find ourselves at the end of another video, ladies and gents. As always, if you did enjoy this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.